Ooh, there's one thing I did forget.
Okay.
Put that at the end?
Yeah, let's table that. Maybe print those out and we'll grab them.
Yeah, I can
So I'll,
call attendance again.
right. Okay, so call attendance for everybody. Is that what we're gonna say?
Are there any members on there?
No.
Oh, so then you don't have to.
Grab a seat. Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say, if somebody was on there, we'd have.
Yeah.
Couple more people wandering in.
Hello, sir.
Come on in.
You.
Hop on in.
Oh.
Make it seem less painful, though, let's be honest.
All right, so the first order of business for today is going right into public comment. Does anybody have any public comment?
We do have a sign in.
And we do have a sign-in sheet if you can, you could do public comment and then sign in.
I know it's.
Sorry,
No, that's okay. So I'm Karen Herrick. I'm gonna join the select board in a few minutes, but so I understand tonight on your agenda, you're gonna talk about dedicating a component of the Birch Meadow area complex in honor of Dr. James Allen. And I would just like to say I wholeheartedly support that. I knew Jamie for a number of years, and even with his untimely sudden passing, I was still learning more about. He was such an unassuming person, but he was so educated and so smart. And the other thing I remember about Jamie was even in discussions with opposing points of view, he was always kind and thoughtful and polite, and we should all be more like that. But among his greatest dedication to the community were his many years on the Conservation Commission. He was an integral part of the MVP master plan, which no doubt led to the about $5 million we got for the Mallet Soames project in some way. And as a longtime champion of Birch Meadow, and I believe part of the Birch Meadow master planning process going back to 2012, whenever it was done. So I'm fully in support in anything I could do to help the process of, I think this is a great idea, and I appreciate the work staff has done. Working with his family to find something.
Chuck is well back there.
There he is.
There he is.
Hey, Chuck.
Hey.
Yes, and Chuck, thank you. I know, you know. So anyway, I won't be the only one who can testify to this, so thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any public comment?
Yes, actually, I had a couple of questions. One,
I can slide up, Chuck, if you want to slide up.
Old
A
school.
week ago Saturday or 2 weeks ago Saturday, I'm not sure which, my husband and I counted 28 people on the pickleball court at Memorial Park. And we were just wondering why there would be 28 people on that court at one time.
Okay, so I don't mind having the questions. I just want to make it clear. Generally speaking, public comment is an opportunity for you to make comments to us. And it's not necessarily a dialogue because it's not necessarily an agenda item. Right, so we aren't, because of open meeting law, typically public comment. If it is an area that isn't covered by an agenda item, we can't necessarily have a dialogue about it. If the public comment was more related to something that we were discussing, then we would have more freedom. And in this case, I don't know if you want to make any, talk about any part of the where we ended up.
As far as where we ended, I know you had sent me an email as well, and I did share it with Eric as well too. And I don't know if you saw my response I had
Yes.
sent back. That's kind of where we are. After our last meeting at the Pleasant Street Center, I did bring it up with Matt Cronalis, who brought it up with town council as far as the deed. And if, they thought we were in violation of the deed, they did go over the deed, they read it. They did say that the language in there was very subjective, and at this time, they didn't think that the town or the recreation committee was in violation of that deed. So that's where it stands right now. So as of now, it's kind of business as usual at Memorial Park as far as pickleball. We have made some changes there to allow open play on Fridays, and I think that's gone pretty well. And our lessons are going on down there as well too. That's taken away some time from the pickleball players. As far as just 28 folks being on the court, I'm assuming it's during transition times when groups are coming on and possibly coming off with kind of giving an answer to your question.
Yeah, and I would suggest Mike may avail himself to you if you have questions about kind of like the logistics of pickleball, but I don't think we should bog down into the logistics of how the pickleball transitions work, but Mike is probably the best person to go to.
Okay.
And if you have questions about like logistically how the pickleball works in terms of people coming and going.
And we did bring up in January had concerns about the parking and the noise. And they haven't been addressed, I don't think, by the committee. And we're just wondering where all of that stands. And do we need to put that on the agenda? Is there a way that we can put that on the agenda? I see pickleball on the agenda, but I'm not seeing.
Yeah, so with regards to where traffic is, I'm not sure that a recreation committee kind of oversight, right? I mean,
Make mention, I know the folks who live in that parking area and that, I think it's a duplex home there, that white home, they did reach out to DPW in the engineer department asking if they could possibly look at the parking lot and put in some lines there so there is more proper parking. I think they started looking at last week. So, and I think Ryan Percival, who's the town engineer, he's working on that right now. So I did touch base with them. I don't think anything's been finalized. They're in the beginning stages, doing surveying, see what they can do, but they want to make sure whatever they do is done correctly by the laws. So putting in parking is done efficiently and correctly. So they did start work on that last week. They gave me a heads up.
And noise.
so do you have any other specific comments you'd like to make?
That if you create a problem by your policies, then you need to deal with the consequences. And I don't see that happening with the recreation. You went from 2 tennis courts to 4 pickleball courts. And there are some problems in the neighborhood because of that policy that you made. And I think you need to address those consequences.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? All right. Anybody else here for public comment? All right, so next topic is the discussion and possible vote of naming a pathway at Birch Meadow after Jamie Mon, former conservation member. Presenter, we have Chuck, and is Matt here?
Yeah, that's on.
And hopefully, hopefully you can see me, or hopefully you can see me. I don't know if you want to see me or not,
We
but
can see and hear you, so I'll leave
Why don't we put the screen up? You have that, Jim?
Yeah, I
So
can
we-
share the
We
screen.
grabbed a slide from the Birch Meadow Master Plan that shows the main spine. And what you'll notice is, well, I'll just start out by saying, when I first got hired by Reading, I was interviewed by Jamie.
Why is this not sharing?
And so I was pretty impressed that Jamie would even come to interview me because he worked for CH2M Hill, which is a legendary consulting and engineering firm that played a big role in the Panama Canal. And so for me, it was really great. But Jamie was just another person. He was just another guy. He treated me like an equal. And ultimately, I ended up being hired here in Reading, and Jamie was always there, had a cell phone number for support and advice. Jamie reached out to the community and always was interested in helping preserve conservation area. And you're all well aware of Castine Field. And Jamie would tell me many stories of bringing his kids down there to watch the butterflies and see the frogs and talk about the flora and the fauna. And so this path, this main spine path, is very close to Castine Field. There's no path right now around Castine Field, but I think there is a proposal at some point to have one go through there and then off into Morton Field and like that. So to kind of create an area for someone that's been a big supporter of Reading, big supporter of the environment, for an area that was delineated as a wetland, and to honor him that way, I think would be a great a great achievement for this town. I know that it's not often done here but I think the contributions that Jamie made would kind of stand out and be held high amongst other people that see this dedication. We did have a sign to show you. I don't know if that's available. Pretty simple, just memorializing the path, and Jamie Mullins' name would be on it. So I guess with that, without rambling, without taking too much of your time, I'll turn it over to Matt. And Matt, please take over at this point.
Great, thank you. And thank you all for those kind words. And I don't know if Karen is still in the room or not, but I think I heard her use the words kind, thoughtful, and polite. I'm not sure I saw too much of that growing up, but it's good to hear that that's how he treated you all as colleagues. I'm personally sick of meetings by about 2 p.m. and here we are at 6:40, so I'm going to keep my comments pretty short. First of all, I just want to thank you all for considering this dedication. It means a lot to me, my sister, my mom. Really, I think it's a great thing for not just our family, but more importantly, the town. I think Karen did a great job kind of highlighting, and Chuck did a great job highlighting the work that my dad did with the Birch Meadow Master Plan, serving on the Conservation Committee for a number of years, town meeting member. So I really just want to keep this short and try to boil it down to what I thought growing up. I saw my dad as one of his greatest strengths in whether it's working with the Recreation Committee, the Conservation Committee, or whatever it might be. And that was really connecting people, right? He could talk to me, a 5-year-old, about butterflies on the Castine Field wetlands. He could talk to, an expert like Chuck. He could talk to a developer, whether it was, a contentious case or not. He was really able to meet everyone where they were and treat them with respect and try to find common ground and connect them. And so I think this path that connects, multiple different use areas, whether it's a baseball field, Castine Field, the wetland areas, I can't really think of a better way to remember him and his legacy that I think he left, not just for me, but for the town. So with that, again, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just want to say thank you again. This means a lot.
Okay. Thank you very much, Matt. I really appreciate you being here on Jamie's behalf, and so thank you. So discussion? Yes, Chuck.
So I would support this. Jamie was a thoughtful, kind, very intelligent person, a great town meeting member. And as has already been said, a lot to the community. I think this is a great tribute to him.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Go ahead, Mike.
I knew Jamie in probably an early version of his career before he went to that. I think he was at the Volpe National Transportation Systems Center, and he helped mentor me in my early days. I always thought he was a great guy. I moved to Reading, lived here for many years, and then retired, and then found out he was around. So it's funny how that connects. I love this idea of naming this path. This is a nice spine, and it connects up to that across the road to those wetland areas and everything. So where would the sign actually be? Which end? This end or that end?
We'd work with Chuck and probably work with DPW to find the best location, so it wouldn't, have an impact on whether it's the cutting the grass or affecting weed whacking, all that stuff. So logistically,
Could you put them at both ends?
it's open. Yeah.
That would make more sense.
Yeah. My job is done.
Yeah.
Well done.
You can go now.
You can decide.
Science check.
Speaking, Angela stopped by the office. She couldn't be here today. She full-heartedly wanted us to mention that she supported this idea based on Jamie Mon and what he's done in the past. And Kate Kaminer, she really didn't talk much on it, but she's kind of sticking her stance as far as naming things. She kind of really doesn't have an opinion on it. She really doesn't overly agree on naming things after individually. So she said there was no difference with this one as well too.
I knew Jamie through a couple different pathways since I've been here in town, and I just echo everybody's sentiment. I think in my email, when this first came up, the first thing that popped into my mind, and everybody has said is thoughtful. Certainly kind. He always sought compromise. I always enjoyed his comments at town meeting. Anytime he stood up, I knew that he was going to say something rational and smart and taking into account the other side of the argument, and that he would fiercely make his case, but it was always with a lot of respect. So knowing what he has done for this community, I think it's this is a great thing to do. The one kind of caveat I'll make, and if we do go down the path of doing a vote here, I have two questions. One, is this a vote to recommend to the select board to adopt this?
Yeah, and I think Chuck, you're going with conservation tomorrow, so I think it's a vote of basically support from the rec committee. I don't know if it's an actual vote. I think it's a recommendation of support to move forward with this project, correct, Chuck?
Yeah, a vote to support, and then the Conservation Commission is gonna have the same vote tomorrow night, and then it goes to the select board.
It would. Oh, okay.
And
Okay. I did speak to the chair as he's the official liaison, and I told him I was coming to say this and why, and he thought it was a nice idea.
so Conservation is gonna support this because, we don't have jurisdiction, well, anyway, we don't, but, casting field and all that, but, the bare minimum, the plan and all that, and it's recreation department, so we didn't want to vote to approve this. So we just want to vote to support this nomination.
That makes sense. Also, please pay attention. So, because one of you is going to have to make the motion, so. The second thing, and I would intend, if we do get to the vote, I would intend on voting for it. But I think I know I mentioned an email, just wanted to make a public comment that I think it'd be good if the town had some sort of process behind naming parks, pathways, fields, what have you. It seems like we're naming a lot of things recently, and it'd be good if we had a process behind it. I fully support Jamie in this case, but I guess the devil's advocate would say, are there other people that would merit equal consideration for this that we're not considering because there is no formal process? That somebody came up with this idea. It's a very generous and amazing idea, but should we have a mechanism to capture other names for future things? So
We have policy FF on the school committee, and Aaron could probably share that.
I'm aware of that.
Yes, so that's pretty thorough.
Yeah, I just don't know that that's town-wide.
No, I'm saying, that could be a model for.
Absolutely.
For the town.
Yeah. So yes, more of that. Great. So any other comment or discussion? Okay.
Want to vote?
Yes, you have a comment? We are allowed to go to the
Who
audience.
would maintain it?
The signs?
No, the whole path and the signs.
Oh,
Would that be Public Works?
So that's actually already existing. That's a actual paved path that's already there right now. That was part of phase 1 of the Birch Meadow project. So it's actually open right now. Goes right along where that pavilion area is.
And DPW manages the upkeep of it, right? Okay.
It's not quite in the right place on that.
The pavilion, it's pretty close actually. Yes,
I thought it was up a little bit.
It's right behind those batting cages, right in the middle.
It is, it's pretty close.
The angles on
Yeah.
it, that's what, yeah.
Russell, so, okay,
Yeah.
let the select board know how
Yeah.
we can
We
work
can
on
open
this.
door.
Okay,
Awesome, thanks.
We have a motion.
I move that we support the dedication of the walkway in Jamie Moran's memory. Does that work?
Works by me. Chuck, did we miss anything on there?
That sounds fine.
Second.
All right, we have a second. And we will take a vote. Do we need, because we have nobody online, I think we can just do a hand or yes? All those in favor? All those opposed? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 0. We didn't have to elevate you.
I don't, yeah, I didn't get a blow up, but I feel bad about it. So thank you for that.
It passes. Matt, thank you very much for spending some time with us. And we will, if you didn't quite catch it, we will be recommending to the select board to adopt the sign, and you might be called upon to go before them too. So
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you all, and hope you have enjoyed the rest of your night. Take care.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
okay.
Thanks, Chuck.
And thank you, Chuck, as well. Really appreciate you spearheading this. Good luck in your
And
meeting
he
tomorrow.
said that staff will take it to the select board, so you guys don't have to do that unless you want to be part of that process also. I think Jenna, Jim and myself
We're on the chat.
will run it right there. All right, enjoy your evening.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Don't like it, yeah.
Do you want to run through the amplified
Yeah.
permits?
So one of them is, I don't know, Bob, if you want to talk about.
Yeah.
that. So the one here, so I did change the date on that one. It's just a date move.
You, so, what was that, back in April, we had, approved the amplified sound for the police department is having a challenger game at Hunt on June 2nd. It's now being moved to June 9th. And they just want to request the amplified sound again for sound equipment and, do the national anthem on June 9th at Hunt. So basically the same thing we had approved previously, just moving the date.
Discussion? Okay. Do we make a motion on these, or do we just vote on it?
I should just a recommendation to the board, right? Select
Just-
board.
Yeah.
Gotta be approved by you guys, so I assume it's a vote. Favor,
I move that we approve this. Thank you, Mike. Second,
I'll second.
yeah.
all right.
Gotta know every time.
All those in favor? All those opposed? 6.
Good. Next one, we just had one more from the Reading Public Library. This is for the Juneteenth event that will happen on the Town Common from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. from June 15th. Requesting use of amplified sound, use of musical instruments for general announcement as well as music.
Any discussion? Okay. We have a motion to
Move to approve the June 18th celebration at the Reading Public Library. Sound on
Town Common.
I'm sorry, Town Common on June 15th to for amplified sound.
Second.
second, thank you. All those in favor? All those opposed? 6-0. All right, the meat of the meeting, updates and discussion of the SWAC recommendations to the select board, which include the recalc updates and potential site locations for pickleball fields, parking, et cetera, et cetera. So was the plan to have representatives talk a little bit about
Yeah, I know,
SWAC and recalc for?
Chuck and Angela, I know Chuck, you presented at the select board meeting, was it last week or the week prior? I do have that presentation. I don't know if I want to put it up there and kind of, I don't think we need to go through every single slide. I'm sure you don't. But I think slides 30, I think it was 30 through 38 are kind of the meat and the guts of that. And I think that's going to be the most.
Start at 28.
I have actually a question on a earlier slide. I think it's 14 and 15.
Yeah, I can.
There's a,
1 second.
Can you though, Jim?
I think I can, on my second time.
a parcel out behind the baseball.
I'm not asking.
But yeah, I should have asked that when Chuck was still here.
So that was, it's land, I mean, there's no way to get there. You gotta go.
Go through wetlands.
Wetlands to get, so it's not really usable.
And the rifle range shoots that way.
That too.
I was just curious what that parcel I did.
So the original charge was just that small parcel that
On the, yeah.
Which page?
South.
that
28.
the town meeting authorized the purchase from Zanny back in 2019, I think it was. And we then went to the select board and got approval to kind of look at the whole area down there. Yeah, there's the original
Right.
piece.
No, I was just curious about that plot back there. Because if that's that's a bigger hunk of land back there, and if you could make a field back there, that would be.
Where were you talking? I'm sorry, I was loading this up. The baseball field, that far back baseball field, is that what you're talking about?
It's back on
Yeah,
page,
It's on page 15.
If you go to slide 15 quick, you can,
it's actually slide 14. I don't know why.
no, that's 14. This is 15.
15. So this area back
So
here,
that-
the
yeah,
parcel,
041-559, it's just locked in by.
Right up, so there's no way to get there. It's with I mean, you can get there obviously, but you'd be encroaching on conservation land. So
Right.
there's really nothing you can do with it. Other than, you know, give it to conservation.
Right, I was just curious about it. I just would. Field space is rare.
yeah, so I think the main gist of this was kind of look at what the SWAT committee, which has, I believe they have sunsetted already what they proposed to the select board. Again, this was just their recommendations. I think kind of going through the last pages, kind of give an idea. It was kind of, I think 4 or 5 different ideas. This is kind of the basic, and it kind of goes from the smallest part to the biggest. And this was the first one here. We all know that we're in need of fields as well. With this being said, we also know that recalc is going on as well too. So this parcel of land could be used for something else, depending on how that project ends as well. So I think we have to keep in mind that this was kind of done possibly a little bit prior to the start of the recalc committee as well too. So this was one of their proposals, multi-use lighted courts that would include youth soccer, lacrosse, field hockey, basketball courts, pickleball, could be a dog park mixed in there. The next one was just a bit more. This did include a senior center as well as the parking area off to the side as well. Next one, outside the box a little bit. This is obviously would all be dependent on the lease with the Burbank Ice Arena, which they still have another 18.5 years, I believe, under the current lease. So again, this is thinking outside of the box and maybe using that land that is a little flatter over there, but there'll be a lot that would have to be done, obviously, for this to go through. Number 4, multi-use recreational. Again, they're using that back parking lot, which is outside of the jurisdiction or the scope that the town does have. And this also mentioned the public and the private partnership, where they did go out for the request for proposals. That one group came back, the Edge. I think we all saw that presentation. I want to say it was about 4 months ago as well. So that was the 4th option. And then the final one, just to cover all the bases, they said do it all, which would include everything, including the dog park, multi-purpose field, community center, parking garage. Again, SWEC's job wasn't to say what they were going to do with the land. It was to come up with possibilities to explore every single option that they could think of based on community feedback. There was a lot of studies that were done. There was a lot of data that was compiled as well.
Yeah, so if I can back up, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry if I took over, Chuck.
No. I think Angela may have reported it at one of these meetings. We started the process with public comment as to what members of the public wanted to see down there. We also did a survey, and both the public input and the survey set the baseline for those recommendations. Everything really centered around recreation and some type of community center. So We did do the RFI, which Jim mentioned, which was, we did get one respondent, which was Edge Sports. And they came in with just a really high level, it's almost like a marketing piece. They wouldn't like to hear me say that, but it was a marketing piece for to build like a multi-purpose type facility that could be used by seniors, and pickleball court, basketball courts, all indoor lacrosse type, maybe an aquatic center. All of those things were highlighted in our survey. So that's kind of what set the baseline for those recommendations. I think and clearly it's now in the hands of the select board. We were just doing the research and giving them our thoughts on that. Obviously the loudest voice was pickleball.
No.
Something we need to, and always thoughtful, always, that there weren't too many pitchforks at the meeting. I'm kidding. But we do need to do something about pickleball. So, that's again in the hands of the select board now in terms of what will go down there. But it was a good process. There was a lot of discussion. The dog park was a good discussion as well. That doesn't require a lot. So whether we could maybe sneak something down in there for that, a little corner. Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
One thing I wanted,
Questions, just comments?
I'd like to add one of the key proposals out of it was also, I think the next slide's 6. Because there's a big hunk of the Zanny land, which is wetlands. And I think it's like maybe it's more than 10 acres of land down there.
Yeah.
And I think the idea was that should be made into conservation land.
Yeah.
Which would be a big bonus for the town in developing various other things and doing things.
And the other thing down there, you made me think of when you said Zanny is, there is probably some level of contaminants down there. We don't know what. They had left construction material and stuff down there. So really it wouldn't be prudent for the select board to do anything down there, whether it be a senior center or anything until that real study is done. There was some lower end type study done way back by West and Sampson, but not the type of thing you'd need if you had kids and adults down there on the playground.
Makes sense.
But the Weston and Sampson looked at, this was a Nike site back in the day, and where the launchers and all that stuff was where the baseball field is,
right?
Not the Zanny land. So that's a positive thing.
Right.
I walked through there, and there's all sorts of crap back there.
There was like a spray Jeep in there too.
I was gonna say there's a couple cars down. I mean, they were in the pictures of the presentation a few weeks ago.
Comments, questions, ideas, thoughts? This is an opportunity for us just to kind of discuss it and bring up elements that we might want the select board to be aware of.
What is the timing of recommendations, decisions? Like, is there any sort of like timeline associated with this?
Not really. Part of the reason for that so is it really we need to get to the bottom of what we're going to do regarding a senior center.
Right.
That's a competing site
Priority. Yeah.
So I think once they've made that decision, if it goes down there, then, that could be all bets off in terms of of what we did from a recreation standpoint. So once that's done, then I think the select board will put together some level of an action plan and timeline for what to do then.
You know,
I don't know.
I don't want
This is your-
to sound like a broken record, but this would be an ideal place for pickleball. So,
Competing with the gun club.
and, you know,
Pickleball gun club.
if they put a senior center or community center down there or a recreation facility down there, you would almost certainly want to have pickleball courts there as well.
That was Kevin, just a little levity. That was I coached baseball for years, and the summer teams that was like, I called it our home field advantage. Because at 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning, you'd have a game and all of a sudden the guns start going.
Bunch of kids on the other team.
Funny, you tune it out though. Like we were just there last night. You do tune it out. Like,
That's the shot.
Gotta be coming in,
Oh, yeah,
Winchester.
yeah. No, absolutely. We've definitely tuned it out.
Pitching on the mound, right?
But I mean, I just, you know, I was down there Sunday afternoon and there was the New England skating club had a big event there.
Yeah.
So we do have to be, you know, it is used, that parking lot is used and
I feel like when it's used a lot. Like there's not a lot of like quarter filled parking lot events. It seems like it's,
no, it's
High school hockey games, state tournament games, it is.
in the winter, it's definitely
yeah, like,
Summer, certainly a little.
Right.
Less.
a lot less.
yeah, practically empty in the summer. Yeah.
But it was cool to see the skaters getting ready outside.
I mean, I think it's great to see all of the different options kind of laid out, which is nice. It's helpful. I think hopefully whatever the select board comes up with doesn't, I'm hoping they come up with multiple options to explore more in depth and not just fixate on one solution or one of these options. Is to kind of say, okay, can we come up with some proposals that have variations on a theme that we can, you know, price out, having multi-purpose fields here and pickleball fields here, or what if, you know, basically have a lot of if then questions and answers ready. So if the senior center goes somewhere else, then we can do this. If it goes here, then this is how we would work around that and change things. So I'm hoping that it doesn't become a kind of a singular focus. And then the other comment I have on the public-private partnership is that if we do go down that path, and I've said this before, I sound like a broken record, probably, we absolutely have to have ironclad kind of like
Control.
Yeah. Reading comes first when it comes to, you know, within reason. Obviously, you know, a private partnership is not going to come here if we say we own all the space. But we should have priority, and that priority should be in perpetuity, not, you know, kind of like something that fades away, as has happened to this town in a couple key areas. So, those are my two thoughts. It's really hard to dive into like details, I think, and to discuss real big details because the senior center is such a big looming project that I think we need to have a clear sense where that's going to end up.
And you got Killam too.
Yeah, so from a space perspective, I think these two things combine, and then from a cost perspective, Killam, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, what's the community's appetite for it all? I will say that there's going to be a financial forum coming up in, I think, next week, yeah. And then they're going to keep doing them on a regular basis to keep talking about all of these different elements. There's multiple large projects, so I definitely encourage everybody here to please pay attention to those so that if we get asked again for ideas, thoughts, we're kind of aware of kind of what the costs of the other projects are and how they would affect anything that we would kind of have more of a purview over.
I mean, One thing that's useful to note is that the multi-purpose field idea, those would not be full-size fields. Those are maybe youth,
I
under,
think they could get a full size field off the scope of that land they have. They would be small ones, but they could for soccer.
micro soccer, right? That's, I just wanted to mention. And when we talk about multi-use, are we talking turf fields or grass?
Turf.
And preferably lighted turf.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other component to this is we have Birch Meadow Master Plan next phase to think about, right? Obviously, we have phase 2 that is,
We're beginning.
just beginning. But eventually phase 3, has fields, right? It has reconfiguration of the fields beyond the outfield. Behind Coolidge, right?
It's all gonna be turf, right?
Yeah, the plan currently is all turf and multi-purpose. So you have more softball, more lacrosse, more soccer opportunities to kind of crisscross. So,
What's the definition of a full-size field? Is it 120 by
depends on
80?
soccer.
I would say soccer is the biggest. And then
Soccer is the biggest, and then, yeah. But yeah, it's 120
Soccer, we have lacrosse field
by
hockey.
65.
55 or 80, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but definitely 100. You definitely need to have 120.
That's the whole issue with turf too, that it's not, you can't play football there.
That's 110, or what is it?
The E team can play there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that 10-yard short?
I think it's 20, I think it's like 80. I think it's 40 at midfield, I believe.
It's 45.
Is it 45?
Yeah.
It's 90.
I play alternate.
Plus the 10-yard end zones.
Pretty big throw.
That is correct. I don't want to run any, I don't want to run any farther than that. Do not make me run any farther.
So when they rebuilt that, so a girls lacrosse field is bigger than the boys. The dimensions, so the girls could never play at turf too.
But they made it so they
So
could.
they made it now, I believe, so they can
Yep.
play their games, and they had to upgrade the lights because
But they just couldn't squeeze out a few more yards. It just wasn't gonna happen. Any other discussion on this? We're not voting on this at all, right? There's no vote here, but yes.
I would find it helpful as we're considering slicing and dicing this property around. I know it's kind of old fashioned, but just to have like a laser pointer. I'm not from here, but I would find it helpful as we're talking about it, just so I can be on the same page, make sure that we know. The other is just, I think I mentioned it before, but I'm on the Trails Committee, and we do a good job, I think, of knitting the town together. And because of recent efforts, we now can park at Camp Matera and walk all the way across to Haverhill, and which I think is great. I don't know, it's at the wrong part of Haverhill for this, it's up by Chestnut.
Pretty far up, yeah.
But I just wanted to sort of bring that idea out there, that it's nice when you can bring the town together.
Thanks. Anything else? Okay. Let's bring it around to the beginning. Anybody want to take a look at
did a very nice
spend a
job.
couple minutes looking at the minutes so we can officially approve them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
When the flags are going in.
I'm gonna update you. I'll get that. Yeah. Don't steal my thunder.
Fine. It's on the minutes.
The polls
I
are
was
up.
pretending to have read something.
Did you see them? They're up.
No, so when did they go?
Yesterday, the day before. So I drive past every day. I turn
Literally,
the
I have my house 2 days. So I haven't worked in the basement.
car.
There it
I'll
is.
make sure I send them out to you prior to.
I want to tell them.
Drive past every day, trying to take my son to college, so. it's just- My son lives on Orange. I float back and forth.
Good. Any discussion on minutes, corrections? Okay, can I have a motion?
Move to approve the minutes of April.
Oh, Michael, good.
Pause. Sorry, Jeff.
Yes, I think, which is to be, the organization was raised 1,000. I think there should be 115.
Pickleball has raised 115,000.
Yeah, I think you did mention that. 15 initially, and there was another 100. Donut, I think you mentioned.
Got that?
All right. Move to approve the minutes as amended of April 9th, 2024. But
Okay. All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? That's been approved. Two more items, Mike, you have 5 minutes.
So,
Pickleball updates.
Pickleball, the big initiative this year has been open play on Friday evenings. It's been going pretty well. My plan is to actually talk to Ed and try and get maybe something on the rec website. Because, we've been doing a pretty good job of getting beginners there and, experienced players. But we're sort of missing a middle demographic. They see posts from Mike Coleman and they think, oh, that's not for me. So that's just something I'd like to work on a little bit. It's been pretty successful. People have been having a good time, meeting and playing.
Have you seen new folks showing up?
Yeah. And the rest of the time, particularly around some of the tennis stuff, there's been some openings and, we've seen some families come up. Mother and daughter came up and, they were serving like this, but which is illegal, you can't do it. But, so it was fun to see that. And, as far as I could tell, players have been getting on the courts. I did a review of who made reservations for 1 week, and there were more than 55 people making reservations.
We'll have duplicates. I do jump in there and check as well. So I've seen a lot of open spots. I feel like I've seen more openings than I did last year. So I'm hoping people are,
They're filling in.
Yeah.
People come and play and,
but I think people have more of an opportunity to get on there.
right.
Opposed to it being booked up immediately.
I saw a bunch of, 4 college kids back from college. They had all different college sweatshirts on the other day. Yes. What are they doing? Not working. So it's been going pretty well. The one feedback I'm getting about open play is that they like it, people like it, and they would like to consider another time. And I was thinking of talking to you guys and saying, what about maybe Sunday afternoon? But that's just
Yeah, we can look into it.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's great. I'm glad to hear the open play is working out.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people want to play, so.
Okay.
So I don't think we had numbers the last time, but the day that we had April 7th, right? At the field house, we raised about another $6,000. So
Oh, since?
on April 7th.
Oh,
It's in here in the minutes as 5, and I just think
Okay.
that's what I said at the time,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
Recreation and admin and program coordinator report.
And you can go first. I got pictures and I like to end with pictures, so if you want to go first.
The picture vampire in the game.
Ed gets no girl this time.
Not too much, nothing crazy, just kind of a lot of the spring programs starting to come to an end, so it's just like day-to-day maintenance as things come up there. Next couple of weeks, we are offering a free intro to pickleball lessons for 60+ community. That was based on some suggestions from some people in the pickleball community. Our pickleball instructor, Jack Drinkwater, is running them. It's just, so it's on May 28th and June 4th, eight people per class. It was limited, so like people can only take one, so it's 16 new people getting introduced to the game.
That's at Park, where's that
It's at Parker, yeah, so indoors. Yeah, we had some space and they were actually worked out quite nicely. They filled up definitely within the day, not immediately, which was a little bit surprising, but it did fill by the end of the day. For summer vacation right now, just working with the directors and the specialty counselors to order the supplies and get ready for orientation, and obviously, you know, it's gonna be starting up before we know it. Summer programs, pretty much everything's all set to go. Adding some things here and there. As we have space and ideas come through, if we can do it, we like to obviously offer it and to the community and see what's. And then last week I reached out to all of our vendors and everybody about fall programs already. All of our like indoor facility requests need to be in by June 15th for anything from September to December 31st. So that's what I'm gonna be doing the next month or so. It's kind of just planning and organizing the fall already. So that's been good. Had a couple meetings with some new vendors, hopefully hoping to bring in for the fall, a new basketball clinic company. And then some of you probably know Kim Penny. She has a company, One-on-One College Consulting, so looking to do a couple of presentations about the college admission process, Common App, and then also some like sports recruiting stuff. So a little intro presentations there, maybe in the fall. So that's what I've been working on.
And I think the new basketball program I was bringing is a former Reading High alumni, Jackie Lyons, who was a really good player back in, I think, like 2005. My first tenure here.
Yeah.
She was excited to be welcomed.
She was very excited, yes. Said her parents still live in Reading in town. And she was very excited to kind of offer this and give back to the community a little bit. So really excited about those.
At one point, I think it was maybe in the fall, you had the inclusions, was it inclusion sports?
Yes, I mean, they were on my vendor list that I reached out to. I haven't heard back from them a ton. I'm not really sure what the reason is there. I've like kind of reached out to a couple of different emails and just haven't heard back. I have been in really early talks with this gym in Wilmington that offers some like inclusion type programs just for like fitness and whatnot. But yeah, it's kind of something I've been.
Yeah, it's too bad I haven't responded.
I know,
So we were in a meeting, we hosted a meeting the other day in Reading with the local rec departments, and someone responded about the inclusion program, and they were having similar issues, and I think they finally just got back to them. So I don't know if they're short staffed right now, but we can reach out to, I forget which community that just finally got a hold of them as well too, so we can follow up with them.
Yeah, so it's been kind of something I've been, trying to get back, and I know we offered them
Yeah.
long ago. So yeah.
Are you getting inquiries from the community about more inclusion opportunities?
It's not something we get overly often. I mean, it is something that like I have looked into more, and I've browsed, the web and try to find companies and opportunities. I did actually reach out to another company that does some like hiking and stuff. I can't think of the company off the top of my head right now, but again, they didn't get back to me, so I guess they weren't too interested. So
I think Kids Test Kitchen too
Kids Test
might
Kitchen.
do some.
yeah, they're very responsive actually. So that is something, a route we can look into more with them, yeah.
Okay.
And I think can do a better job marketing, saying a lot of these programs are open to all. I think some folks will see it and they think, "Okay, maybe it's not for my kid," but I mean, a lot of times we end up calling and they will make accommodations. We'd be willing, we have a volunteer coordinator too, if it's just simply someone needs a one-on-one aid that helps somebody, whether it's cutting food or, helping them, push them along if they're playing T-ball or something along that. We can certainly do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well. So we don't get a lot of calls about looking for, I guess, inclusive programs. A lot of them are kind of focused on IEPs, behavioral plans that need assistance with one-on-ones and things like that, especially during our summer camp season, as well. But Ed's always trying to find stuff. But I know the inclusion group has been a little bit difficult of getting hold of, and we do reach out to, the Communitas, I think they used to use in the past as well too, and we constantly keep getting, that they don't have enough staff. We try to get them out for training for our staff as well to work with the kids who need the one-on-one, and every time we get pushed to the side.
Yeah. At some point, maybe we can ask, the YMCA to give an update just where they are with their funding, because I think that has to be spent by a certain time.
Yes, yep. I know John's been pretty busy. There's been a lot of.
Yeah. Do you know exactly when that needs to be spent by?
I believe it's probably the end of this fiscal year, so that would be June 30th. So probably our next meeting.
Yeah.
I can get it sooner.
We want to make sure that we're using that.
Hi. So I actually checked with Sharon in finance about the YMCA and the funds. So since they are already given to the YMCA in full, and there was a check that was made out, the YMCA has encumbered those funds so they can use them however they see fit for the programming. So there's no sense of urgency to for them to spend the funds. They'll be there. And that's that. And John said that he's more than welcome to give an update in June. I talked to him a couple weeks ago.
Sure. I think the rec department, however, the rec committee still has to sort of oversee those funds to make sure they are being spent.
Yep. Every 6 months he'll give an update, which he said he'd come in June.
He was
here
January, right?
Probably almost 6 months ago, yeah. So it's probably.
It was right around, it was early winter.
It was in January, but it could have been December.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was the end of the year.
Yeah, so we're probably due.
February or December.
Thank you, Jim. All right, on to me.
Yes.
Nice work, Ed. All right, so I officially made it a year as of 2 weeks ago. Here and I'm still here.
Congratulations.
I appreciate your patience with me, guiding me along the way. Starting to look to do better this year. I think I got a lot done this year. It's always hard kind of coming into a new community, figuring out who's who, what's been done, what hasn't been done, and trying to figure out where to begin. There's a lot more to do, which I'm excited about, but I think we've had a good first year and we've got a really good team now, a full staff team as well. So looking forward to having another good year. On my end, I'll try to keep it quick. I know Celtics are playing tonight and folks probably want to see that. Field scheduling summer, I'm in the process of finalizing that. Coming to an end with all our spring sports season. It's gone pretty well again, thanks to the athletic department and Tom Zaya working with him, the DPW crew trying to get fields ready when they can, and all the youth organizations as well. They've all been great to work with. I've worked for a number of towns. Sometimes they don't all get along. They actually work really well together and make sure if they're not utilizing spaces, they do give the opportunity for other groups to get on there because we are so limited with field space in town. Again, I'm working on another AED. I don't know if I mentioned at the last meeting, but we're trying to get an AED over at the Coolidge Middle School now. This would be our third one to go along with Parker, as well as the one that's located at the field house closest to Turf 2. That would be donated by Youth Lacrosse once again. Meadow at Birch Meadow with the DPW and Belco, who is a landscape company that worked on phase 1 of the Birch Meadow plan. They went out there, I don't know if anyone's been out there near the pavilion. They put down some wild grass seed in that little triangle pizza area. There's a little mesh net around it right now. That's going to be wild grass that's going to be growing there. And then they went around and they put down grass as well in all the areas that didn't take because the seeding went down so late in November. And they're touching up a few little items off their checklist. A few signs were put up backwards out on that new parking lot. So they're moving those around. So DPW is on top of their checklist, making sure they did exactly what they were supposed to do before they sign off on that. The end of phase one. Birch Meadow phase two, as I kind of mentioned a little earlier, we had a nice town meeting with Jane Wellman. And all the players that are going to be involved in this. We want to make sure we overly communicate with the entire community on this project. So setting up meetings prior to it, notifying all the key players, the organizations, the departments, the schools, as well with everything that is going on with that project. So there's no surprises. I think we're going to be meeting in probably a couple more weeks to go over the next step and maybe set some dates to have. I know we are going to have a public meeting for the public to come and speak about phase two prior to it kicking off. Pollinator Garden, I don't know if anyone's seen it, complete. They've got the stanchions that have gone down and they've got the no mow signs on there. And there's some pollinator signs out there as well saying what they are. Again, we're not going to see a return on it till probably about 3 years. Or so, but it should look pretty nice once it's fully bloomed. So that is all done. A reminder, Town Day, June 8th, Reading Rec, we did sponsor some of the games for the kids down there. Big Daddy Racing is going to be coming. There will be laser tag, and then there'll be a whack-a-mole game. Myself and Ed are going to try to be there based on our schedule. We'll have a table set up down there. Fireworks are June 15th this year. A lot of the times it preceded Town Day, but the firework vendor couldn't get there on June 8th, so that will be on June 15th. So we're trying to do a good job making sure we are advertising that as much as possible. I met with the police, I met with the fire and DPW to go over the area that has to be fenced off, and spoke with the firework vendor to make sure all those permits are set as well. So everything looks good as long as we get good weather for that day. That's it. And then I'm going to go to.
You have a crowning achievement you got to talk about.
A crowning achievement.
Yeah. What did you put up last week?
What did I put up?
Yeah.
You showing us pictures now.
Pictures.
What did I put up?
Did I jump the gun?
I don't know. What did I do?
You know,
Oh, down at Hunt Park?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I heard there was struggles down at Hunt Park and Little League needed a little bit of help with getting scoreboard back up and working. So I spoke with Jared Stanton, who spoke with one of the electricians who installed it 30 years ago.
Yeah.
He came out there, kind of looked at it, and we went from maybe having to dig up a 200-foot trench to digging a 2-foot little hole underneath the scoreboard. Thanks to one of my friends who's an electrician out in Westford. I connected Little League. This is separate from the town. Little League took care of this. He came out, healed the scoreboard
That's not what I was talking about though.
up and running.
The dogs.
What's that?
Dog signs.
Oh, the dog signs. I did put up, so I thought you were talking about that.
Oh, the dog signs are more important.
The dog signs. So
Clean.
there's been, we're trying.
He's so accomplished in the last month that he doesn't even know all the great things that he's
Trying to be a little bit of humble here. We did get some dog parks. No dogs on athletic playing field signs put up at some of the ballparks. If you're around town, there are a lot of dogs, and they are going inside the fields. So we did put up some signs right at the little entrance ways. I think we got them at Sturgis, Hunt Park right now, the Majors Fields, as well. So trying to keep some tabs on that. Probably be bringing it up to the Recreation Committee to make it a little bit more formal. I don't know if it'll be something that will be on our field policies. There's not a lot in the bylaws right now, so I think we have to really dive into that. It's a hot topic around town, not only in our parks, but also in those town forests, conservation land as well too. So something we need to get on. All right. Did I forget anything else, Bob?
Pretty good.
Did I do anything?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen, and we'll making pretty good time.
We're very appreciative of you, Jim.
Oh, I appreciate you guys too. Hold on, I'm just gonna find the right one. Did I share yet? 1 second. Let me just share the screen. Get a little quicker.
I think Jim sharing screens is my new favorite part of meetings.
It was much quicker than last time.
Ed.
All right. So this was as of this morning, got a nice email from DPW. These are those 6 flag poles. These are in the ground right now. Flags will be going up, I believe, on Monday. The Masons are going to put them up. They're not doing a big ceremony for the service flags. They're planning to do that in November on Veterans Day, where they'll formalize that. The veteran service agent will be taking care of that. But I think it looks great. It's a nice opening to the park, and I think the the layout looks really nice too, and it'll look really good when those flags are hung up on there. So if you're in the area, check it out, especially after Monday. I think 3:30 is when they're gonna be hanging them, but again, it's really informal. Next we have, I like this one too. So this is Sturgis. Yeah, so I got rid of the old and in with the new. I was able to find a company, or Jenna had recommended a company, True Balance, where they will retrofit existing poles. So that is the same exact pole. All I asked was that they went out there and they put a nice coat of vinyl paint on there just to clean it up a little bit. So they came out there on Friday. I think they were out there about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Got both hoops up. So brand new hoops over at Sturgis Park. I think these will probably be the hoops that we try to replace when other hoops are starting to go down. Pretty reasonable price, very durable, and the noise level on these, you can barely hear when the ball hits that plexiglass in the back. And obviously they hold up with the wind with the holes in them as well too. So the next step at Sturgis is we're just gonna get some benches, and that park is pretty much kind of in rehab. I'm gonna try to figure out, if you look at the photos there too, I noticed there's a lot of sand. I don't know where that sand is coming on a lot of these courts, so I'm just noticing it now as well too. There's a lot of sand on those courts, so.
And I can report firsthand that since those have been up, it has been like nonstop.
And we haven't even promoted it yet.
It's
I don't think anyone knows.
It like spread like wildfire in the neighborhood.
Did it really?
All of a sudden, there's like meet at the courts, just like kids all the time playing basketball. It's been great.
And then I did purchase a bunch of outdoor nets. Ed and I went out last Thursday, and one of my biggest pet peeves is showing up at a park and having nets. You know, it's a $6 nets. So we've got an abundance of nets. So if you ever see any, a lot of times we get ClickFix sent into us. We'll get right out there. We'll have DPW to put them up as well. I think we got 3 more photos. I don't know if a lot of folks know about this project. This is what
Oh yeah.
So this paver project was done when the playground was put in, gosh, probably 20 plus years ago. The entire thing, the water got underneath it. All the bricks came up, they got pulled. We had Land Solutions come in here about a week ago. They pulled every single paver out and salvaged as many as they can. I don't think we lost many bricks. There's even some in that are broken that had families' names on them. They took them all out. They relayed them out on the ground. They went in there. They put the proper stonage in there and the rocks so that it would drain properly. And they added this nice little wall around there as well. So it took them about 3 days to do. And I think it came out really nice. But it's little things like this that the rec department does that I think gets overlooked a lot of the times. So I just wanted to make sure I showed this as well. And then our favorite, we got it open for opening day, the Barrows ball field. Grass doesn't look as plush anymore. The coaches pitch right in the front of it, but this was sent to us by Reading Little League, their first opening day where they got out there, got the lines down, and a couple little kids wanted to send us a thank you as well too. So that's Jared Stanton's kids too. So these kids are smiling. That says it all. So that's all I got for you. That's what I like to end on. Any questions or anything?
Oh, batting, what's going on with the batting cage?
That was some, so I stopped by the batting cages at Simon's Way on Friday. They were waiting to get started until the silk sock was put down there. That was finally got down there about 3 weeks ago. Peter Siebold was there Friday. He's got the posts in right now. They're just setting right now. So he's got all the main posts. I think there's 6 total posts that are in there. So I would say that the Simon's Way batting cage, I would say it's probably a week and a half out. So. And then Peter Siebold's going to come and fix the batting cage that is over at the back of the high school field as well. That fence kind of got destroyed during the Birch Nut phase. Kids were over it, so he's going to get out there in the next 2 weeks and fix those fence repairs up there as well too. That's all I got.
Awesome.
Nice pictures.
Anything else?
Just one real quick thing, Friends and Family Day.
Yep.
First of all, I thought it was later in June, but is it June 6th?
So Town Day is June 8th. I don't know if they call it Town Day or Friends and
Family. Depends what you do.
Family. Used to be called
Okay.
That's June 8th. That's the one put on by the Lions Club.
Okay, and so we're gonna have a booth and, you know, it's gonna be up for like, I don't know, 11 to 3 or something. I was just wondering what we were gonna do in that booth. I mean, are we gonna have like handouts or swag or sign up for some
Yes, so
programs?
what we'll do is based off what we need as far as like Ed's always looking at enrollment numbers, making flyers for programs that need to get a little bit more numbers. I know our summer camp is almost full every single week, but there are some of the specialty sports clinics and programs that need some help. So yeah, we don't technically have a brochure. We got away from the brochure, I want to say about 15 years ago. So I don't think we're gonna be making a brochure, but it'll be small little packets of information.
It doesn't, I wasn't suggesting brochure, but like in trails, we have both magnets and bumper stickers and I don't know.
Giveaway stuff just for the kids.
Yeah, we give away some swag. And
Not a bad idea.
and then I was just wondering, is there a goal for this tent? Is it to get people to sign up for programs? Is it to look for volunteers to have allergies themselves? Help with hand intensive projects? It's a good opportunity to like touch the community. And I was just wondering if there was a goal for us.
For the table, you're saying? Or
Yeah,
the day?
and signing up people to take some shifts. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like, as out there as we are in the community, I think there's still plenty of people who don't know, either what we do or what we can offer them. So it's a great way for us, to get out there and talk to people. And then, and if any of those, if people want to volunteer, if they have ideas of things they want to offer, we can talk with them and see, kind of the process of how we go about doing things and being out there.
would June 8th be too late for a parent to sign their kid up for some program?
Absolutely not. No.
See, I think that would be useful information.
Well, if they're not sold out, most of our stuff won't open up until the race starts. Like, there's like, I gotta go week-long clinics and stuff that goes throughout the summer, so. Definitely not, there'll be plenty of.
Well, maybe everybody knows this, but I just think like,
She's gonna be here.
to have like, if you wanted to kind of do it summer camp sessions too, you may put an application to this. Sorry, if you, whatever. I was just wondering how we're gonna run.
You all right?
run the booth and get them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Search out.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second, well, we still have a quorum.
All in favor?
All those opposed? All right, we are adjourned.
Go so.
Thank you all.